Hey guys, Super Godzilla Final Wars here, and today I am back with another video, and today I am going to be explaining the origins of the Godzilla family series. Now, I'm pretty sure I did this before, or I did do an explaining of different origins for different series that I've done on my YouTube channel, and I don't think I ever got the chance to discuss the origins or the origin of the Godzilla family series. Well, you already know how the series began and, well, all that crap. Like, you know how it started, but we're just going to talk about what happened in the Godzilla family universe. Like, you know what I'm talking about. I did it with Godzilla Makes the Incoming of Darkness, and I think another series. I can't remember what other series I did this for, but I also did it for that series as well. So if anyone remembered what series I did it for, please let me know in the comments below. Anyways, we're going to be discussing the origins of the Godzilla family series. So without further ado, let us get started. So it began around millions of years ago, where the Earth was still very, very young. The dinosaurs were still not a thing, but the Earth had a bit more of a different dominant apex species. And those apex species were the kaiju. And this is where the kaiju's origins began, in the Hollow Earth. The Hollow Earth, even though there was no life on the surface, but in the Hollow Earth there was plenty of life, where there were two godlike beings. Those two godlike beings were legendary Godzilla Earth and Anime Mothra. And you gotta remember, the Godzilla Earth and the Godzilla Family series is Godzilla, legendary Godzilla's brother. So, yeah. Anyways, moving on. So, legendary Godzilla Earth and Anime Mothra created the kaiju. And obviously, and since there was a bunch of kaiju, there always had been a kingdom. So, the Titanic Godzillas were the ones who took the chance to become the Alpha Apex species, or AKA the Alpha Kaiju or Alpha Titans or whatever. I prefer Alpha Kaiju because, as you already know, I watched Attack on Titan. Plus, Kaiju has been around for the Godzilla monsters for a very long time before King of the Monsters ever come out. So, yeah. For the past millions of years, there was different kaiju who coexisted with the Titanic Godzillas. The Titanic Godzillas were the strongest out of all the kaiju species. However, a long time ago, the Titanic Godzillas had an ancient enemy. Well, not that ancient, but you know what I'm trying to say. They had an enemy, and that enemy was the Titanic Kongs. You see, the first time when the Kongs and the Godzillas fought each other, it was around the time when one innocent female Titanic Godzilla, who was pregnant at the time, she was looking for a new place to call home until she was assassinated and killed by the Kongs. Destructive Goji, aka Dagon's father and the grandfather of legendary Godzilla and Godzilla Earth, found the remains of that Godzilla, and there started the Great Titan War between the Godzillas and the Kongs. The Kongs and the Godzillas began their ancient war. The Kongs were no match for the Godzillas' superior firepower and strength. The Godzillas were far stronger and more powerful, both on land and in sea, even though the Kongs are a lot more faster and more agile than the Godzillas. But despite that, the Kongs, even though they were managed to kill a single Godzilla who were managed to stray off in the group, they could not effectively kill the Godzillas. The war continued on for the next around 155.7 million years until legendary Godzilla Earth was managed to break up the fight. He got the two kaiju species to get along and to go their separate ways. But it wasn't before long until a new I can't speak. It wasn't before long until a new threat arrived. And this threat was far greater than the Kongs, even more dangerous, because out in space, there was another kind of enemy. That enemy was been banished by legendary Godzilla Earth and Anime Mothra. And that enemy was none other than the one and only the devil of the monsters himself, Exif Ghidorah. Exif Ghidorah was another godlike kaiju who wanted to create life on Earth, but in its own image. So there was a great fight between the three gods, and the two other gods were managed to beat Exif Ghidorah and banished him from the planet. However, he found a way to get revenge by creating his own planet called Planet X, the home of the Ghidorahs. And he created the Ghidorahs. He told the Ghidorahs to start declaring war on the Godzillas and told them where to find the Earth. The Ghidorahs listened to their god and immediately went to go find the Earth. It wasn't before long until one of the Ghidorah scouts was managed to find the Earth and report back to the other Ghidorahs. The Ghidorahs found the Earth and declared war on the Godzillas. During this time, there was also humans. Humans had also evolved as well and started to appear. Yes, I know what you're going to say, but the humans were supposed to appear after the dinosaurs. Well, my friends, in this universe, the humans appeared way before the dinosaurs got a chance to appear. However, these humans were not as advanced as we are. These humans worshipped the kaiju as gods. And so the war between the Godzillas and the Ghidorahs began, or what is now known as the war between the Earth Defenders and the Earth Invaders. The Earth Invaders were the kaiju who wanted to take over the Earth for themselves. The Earth Defenders were the kaiju who wanted to defend their home. And so the battle began. The Earth Defenders and the Earth Invaders began their fight. For the next 10,000 million years, the war continued. Until the Ghidorahs and the Godzillas could not handle losing any more lives. And, the Ghidorahs couldn't handle losing any more lives, and they retreated. Because they were scared of Destructive Goji's power and strength. Because his strength and power was almost insane. And unfortunately, the Godzilla species was only down to only 3% of their species. Destructive Goji did what he can by having 300 wives to have the majority of the Titanic Gojiras to be his offspring. I know that sounds weird, but anyway, he's the king, and he can do whatever he wants. Plus, he was the most powerful and the most feared Godzilla in the entire universe. And eventually, he met a female Godzilla with blue spines. A Godzilla who had blue spines, as you're already aware on this channel, the Godzilla who has blue spines is a Godzilla who can control storms. Therefore, they give him the nickname, the Lord of the Storms. And this Godzilla happens to be Dagon's mother. And a few years later, Dagon was born. Dagon was taught and raised to be a great king. By the time he reached to a teenager within a way, that was when it happened. His mother was killed, and at the same time, his father was killed by Muto Prime. Or, I should say, Muto Prime's father, Killer Prime. Killer Prime killed Dagon's father. Dagon was furious. He, and the help of SOS Mothra, Gamera, and Final Wars Angirius, and Legendary Rodan, they killed Killer Prime. And until Muto Prime was born. Besides that, the Godzilla species was still thriving. They continued to thrive for the next millions of years, and Dagon learned to be a great king. He was now the new king of the monsters, despite his young age. Normally, a Godzilla will have to reach full maturity to become a king. But since Dagon's parents were killed way too early, Dagon had no choice, and he had to become the next king, for his father's sake. So, Dagon ruled the earth for around 200 million years, until he met Godzilla's mother, Jean. And during this time, Dagon was also friends with Kong's father. Yes, he was the only Titanic Gojira who was a friend of a Kong.